Folks, there's some rough days ahead for condos across the GTA. I'll get into that and then the latest home prices and insights for all condos across the GTA for week ending April 17th, 2024. Now, I'm going to get into the numbers shortly, and they're going to talk about, or they will show, average prices for the whole region, for the whole areas, and the numbers are useful. But as a realtor, being with buyer clients, buyers buying condos and sellers selling condos, I also have the privilege of kind of getting right into the street level, down into the weeds, if you will, about what's really happening out there. And yes, days on market, generally speaking, for condos is way up. The amount of condos that sit unsold, it's in the thousands. There's condos sitting there not selling. Now, generally speaking, when you look at the average condo price and the average, say, detached price, there's over $1 million spread. So if somebody's looking to get into the real estate business, or they're just looking to get into real estate in general to own their first home, the low-hanging fruit, the easy entry point, or easier, let's say, is condos. So it only makes sense that condos, it's just the first choice for many, many buyers before then they build some equity and maybe move on to something else when they outgrow and they get into more of a freehold property. But there are condos that are selling that are $700, $800, $900, $1 million. And in the same building, there are condos at $500,000 and $600,000 that are just sitting there not moving. And it's weird to understand a little bit, because when you see the numbers, you kind of get one impression that, okay, it's pretty much a buyer's market in the condo space, and or balanced or a buyer's market. And if you're a buyer looking at condos, there's lots of choices, and there are. And you'll go out and you'll go look at condos to potentially purchase, and there'll be one of them that you're thinking about, and while you're thinking about it, boom, it's sold in 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, and you're thinking, what's going on? Days on market for condos is through the roof. Months of inventory is pretty high. There are so many condos. Why did that one in that building sell right away when others in the same building are just sitting there? It is for sure the more desirable condo. It could be the corner unit, the 2-bedroom. It could have the parking and the locker. And a lot of the ones that are sitting there don't have those features. But they don't have any updates either. And when you really start to look at it, I could see a lot of them that are sitting there. A lot of them are tenanted. A lot of them, I'm going to go on a limb and say, were investor type condos. They are your mom and pop years ago that thought, we've got extra money, we've got some equity, let's buy a second property and we'll easily make more money. And because of that mentality, their goal was also to buy as inexpensive a condo as possible. So locker, no one needs extra storage space. Parking, what for? It's an expense. Corner unit, why do we want the corner unit with the great view? Let's just pay less and get the other condo. Upgrades? No. We're going to go with the least expensive flooring. We're going to go and we're just going to keep it basic, because once we sell it, we'll make a ton of money anyways. Well, it's those people that had that mentality when they were buying the investment condo that it was so easy to make money on. Those are the ones that are sitting there today, not selling. But the person could have been the investor, who I would say is a bit more savvy investor, that was thinking about, where would I want to live? What would the public actually want to buy? What would they prefer? It's who paid a little bit more upfront sometimes. And I'm not necessarily saying this to give you financial advice, this is how you should buy a condo. But I'm kind of seeing it today that even though condos the market is in a bit of a slump and are taking a beating, and there's lots of condos to choose from, there's still those condos, and they're not the $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 condos. I don't know if you can get a $300,000 condo, but they're not the condos that are the lowest to buy. They're a little bit more expensive, but they go fast, and buyers are prepared to pay a little bit extra for the experience of living in a place they'd be more comfortable in, and that suits their needs. A one-bedroom, 500,000 square foot condo may not do it for a lot of people. They prefer the 600, 700, 1,000 square foot, and they'll pay a little bit more. I'm seeing it with my clients. Just look at the MLS at what's been selling. It's those family-orientated type of condos, or even if it's just a single person or a couple, they're paying more for the slightly better condo, and the other ones are sitting there that a ton of investors bought just to get into the market. Now it's not paying off for them. If you think this video can help somebody you know, please pass it along. If you get value from what we're talking about, subscribe. And if you want to speak with me about your real estate situation, selling, buying, it's really simple. Up here, there's a link to my calendar. Below this video in the description, there's a link to my calendar. Click on that, book a time that's convenient for you. We'll talk about whatever's on your mind. Now, let's get into condo prices for the GTA. Folks, if you've been following us for a few years, you know, whenever the Leafs are in the playoffs, this is the time of year. The jersey's on, it's go Leafs go, we got to show our support. If you're looking for an awesome studio condo by Young & Wellesley, have a look at the video at the end of this video. The price has been adjusted for a quick sale. Condos, the City of Toronto, York Region, and Peel Region condos, that's what we're going to talk about today. We've got lots to talk about. There's a lot of things going on in the condo business. These are average sold prices, Toronto, York Region, Peel. The gap usually between Toronto and York Region is quite large, but it's, for this week anyways, a little bit closer. Let's start off with Toronto. So just to be clear, we're talking only about condo apartments. This chart is only for the City of Toronto. For week ending April 17th, 241 condos were sold. I've put a circle over the last 2 months or so. 241, look, on a weekly basis, sales have been going up and down, but it's kind of normal to me, 241. I mean, we're at 245, 253, 255, 241 kind of seems normal to me. It's not, you know, oh, it's trending up, trending down. It's really hard for me to say which way sales are trending. 241 is kind of right in the middle. What is a little bit higher than normal are the amount of condos selling at $1 million or more. 28 of those sold at $1 million or more for April 17th. Average sold price did come down. You figured with more condos selling at $1 million or more, average price would go up, but it didn't. It came down to $748,000. So for a while, average sold prices have been trending up. This week, they came down to $748,000. $748,000 is 4% lower than where the prices were this time a year ago. The median price of $675,000 is 1% higher than where we were year over year. The dotted line, that's a 4-week moving average. Overall, prices have been trending up for average price and for median price. Sales, we said 241 were sold. The amount selling at list price or more is 32%. Well, not the amount, the percentage. Almost a third of those sold at list price or more. And that's been pretty steady over the last few months. 864 condos were listed just for the 1 week ending April 17th. So in 1 week, 864 new condos were listed in the city. Well, they're not new condos, new condo listings in the City of Toronto. Active listings has been increasing. It's sitting now at over 4,000 active listings at the end of the week. I'm saying this slowly because I want you to really understand these numbers. I'm going to go back. 241 were sold during the course of 1 week, week ending April 17th. 241 were sold. However, at the end of the week, there were 4,010 available for sale. So not a lot of sales versus the amount actually available for sale. Just to give you a bit of comparison, this time a year ago, the active listings were 2,138. This year, almost double, 4,010 active listings. What does that do to months of inventory? Brings it up. We're sitting at 3.8 months of inventory, pretty much a balanced market. Now, I will say, some buildings, some situations, we're seeing it with our clients that are looking to buy condos. We'll see a condo, we got time to think about it sitting out there. We see another one, it's been on the market for a while, we could think about whether we want to put an offer or not. We see another one, we think about it, too late, it's gone. It's sold same day it goes onto the market, or 2 or 3 days later, or we book a showing for the weekend and it gets sold before the weekend comes up. So some condos, some situations, the desirable condos are selling fast. A lot of them are sitting out there. Thousands are sitting out there. But that's the whole city of Toronto. Let's look at Toronto broken down into 5 or into 9 sections. 3.8 is all Toronto. Scarborough, months of inventory on condos is 2.6 months of inventory. Etobicoke, 2.5 months of inventory. So Etobicoke is outperforming all of Toronto. Scarborough is outperforming all of Toronto. North Toronto at 3.2. It's just barely outperforming all Toronto. Mid Toronto is outperforming all Toronto at 3.1. But downtown, where the majority of condos are bought and sold, 61 were sold over the course of the week. 5.8 is the months of inventory. We said 61 were sold. Active listings is 1,546. So only 4% of the active listings were actually sold. Think about that for a second. Only 4% of the condos available for sale were sold. So if you're a condo owner and you're putting your home on the market, I gotta say, this isn't the time to try to stretch for the stars and you're gonna be sitting there. People are just not gonna buy it. And yes, you could have the desirable condo, but it still needs to be priced properly and marketed properly because only 4% are selling each week. That's it. Not 50% or 80%. 4% are selling. York Region condos. For week ending April 17th, 42 were sold. 3 of those were at $1 million or more. Average sold price has been trending up for a couple months now. We're sitting at $719,000. $719,000 is 1% higher than what it was a year ago. The median price is 2% higher. And over the last almost couple months here, a month and a half or so, average price and median price have been trending upwards. 42 were sold, very low, only 19% sold at list price or more. The active listings is increasing. We're sitting at 636. 156 were listed. And compared to last year, though this year active listings is 636. And the only reason I'm comparing active listings to last year is to just get an idea, like, is 636 available? Is that a lot? Is that a little? Well, this time last year, it was 318. We've got double the amount of condos available for sale across York Region. We've got double, and we're selling less than what we sold this time last year. So it's a whole different market from what it was a year ago. Months of inventory sitting at 3.5 months of inventory. Here's Peel Region condos. Now, I'm talking Peel Region, but the majority of these condos are being bought and sold in Mississauga. 40 condos were sold. No condos sold at $1 million or more. Now, 40, Yeah, it's about normal from what it's been over the last month and a half to 2 months or so. When I look at average sold price for this week, it's come down quite a bit from the previous week, now sitting at 593,000. And I look at this chart, to me it kind of looks like maybe average price might be sloping, trending down slightly, not by a lot, but you know, it's a little tricky to read there. Compared to last year, 593, 6% lower than what it was this time a year ago. The median price is also 6% lower. I'm going to use the dotted line here, the 4-week moving average, to help me figure out a price is trending up or down. What are they doing? And they were trending up. And over the last month or so, last 4 weeks, looks like they're going more the other way, starting to trend down a bit. 40 were sold, 23% sold at list price or more. That percentage is coming down. Listings, 133 were listed. Active listings is trending up. There's 583 active condo listings across Peel region. This time last year, it was 306. Big difference. And months of inventory sitting at 3.4 months of inventory for condos across Peel region. Quick summary, we're pretty much in a balanced market. Lots of options when it comes to Mississauga. Now, you could be thinking, condos, you know, Toronto has so many available. Peel region, not so much, but you got to look at the volume. You got to look at, you know, what kind of the population, the volume. There's a lot of condos available across York region for the volume, for the amount that we're actually buying on a weekly basis. Lots of choices across the GTA when it comes to condo apartments. Thanks for watching. Have an awesome day. This chic studio is located in one of the trendiest buildings in the city. Have a look.